Urgent Day Bears fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Sounds like one position is higher on Bears draft board than we think. Something important to remember in this entire offseason process is that what fans and media might perceive as the biggest team needs may not align with the team's thoughts. That is particularly true when it changes coaching staffs. Suddenly, players who might have appeared safe are anything but. The Chicago Bears faced this situation going into the 2025 season. Everyone knew the offensive and defensive lines would be a focus regardless of who coached the team. After that, the debate started. People have argued about where GM Ryan Poles and head coach Ben Johnson may focus their efforts to boost the roster. While running back, tight end, and left tackle have headlined the discussions, it appears one may have been undersold. Poles admitted as much to Kevin Fishbane and Adam Jans of The Athletic. That's safety position stuff. Especially when you play a physical brand of football, which Brisker does, you're always going to want depth really at any position, but it's definitely something that we do have to consider, he said. Safety isn't talked about much because it looks as if the Bears have their starters already, Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard. Unfortunately, this ignores the uncomfortable reality of both situations. Brisker missed most of last season with a concussion and is in the last year of his contract. Byard turns 32 this year and also has 1 year left. It's likely both could be gone by next season. The Chicago Bears have to think about the future. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen values the safety position highly. The good news is he's already a big fan of Brisker. In fact, the New Orleans Saints plan to draft him in 2022 before the Bears got there first. That could indicate a chance Brisker sticks around. The issue is he must earn it by staying on the field. Between his first 3 seasons, he's missed 16 games. No team wants to pay players they can't trust to stay available. If the same proves true this season, there is no chance he will get a new contract. Subscribe to the BFR YouTube channel and ride shotgun with Dave and Ficky as they break down Bears football like nobody else. As for Byard, older players tend to get phased out after their deals run out. It feels like the perfect time to draft his eventual replacement. It is a good safety crop in the upcoming draft. Allen has a strong track record for identifying good ones. Don't be surprised if the Chicago Bears target that position in the 3rd or even 2nd rounds. Much depends on how the board falls. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest, the monsters of the Midway news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Bears sign veteran QB. To back up, Caleb Williams last season was a frustrating one for Caleb Williams, the #1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, who had come into the league as a potential franchise quarterback. Many saw legitimate star potential in him, but his results were mixed, and the Chicago Bears went 512 and missed the playoffs. For the 2025 season, Williams will have a veteran backup who has been around the block a few times. Last season, Williams' backup was Tyson Bagent, who had 1 prior season of NFL experience and appeared in 5 games in 2023. Keenum, on the other hand, has been there and done that, with 11 NFL seasons under his belt. He has played for 7 NFL teams and has career totals of 1,575 passing yards, 79 passing touchdowns, and 51 interceptions in 80 games, 66 starts. With Ben Johnson, the former offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, now head coach of the Bears, there is hope that Williams' full potential will be unlocked. He did well in college when he went off script and looked to make something out of nothing, but there has been some concern about his efficacy on pre-designed plays. Chicago has 2 excellent wide receivers in veteran DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, who had a solid rookie campaign in 2024. The Bears will have to deal with a very competitive NFC North in order to make the playoffs for just the 3rd time since the 2010 season. 2025 NFL Mock Draft Chicago Bears boost pass rush with the 10th overall pick in the 2025 Bleeding Green Nation Community Mock Draft. New Orleans Saints GM Fierce Disc 65 selects Michael Williams, Edge, Georgia. The stage is set. The Chicago Bears are on the clock, good old Roger Goodell says, then steps away from the podium quickly and vanishes backstage to weep softly after the chorus of boos he has received throughout the night and to nurse his bruised and broken body after being bear-hugged by yet another prospect. The camera cuts to various draft analysts who all rant and rave about who is left on the board and who the Bears should select at pick 10, all obviously right in their assessments and ready to prove their point to all watching. The eye in the sky then turns its attention to a large throng of Bears fans, some dressed up to look like Bears legend Iron Mike Ditka, complete with rich, amazing mustaches and thick cigars. Some wear large decorated bear heads and furry sleeves ending in bear paws, taking their right to bear arms very seriously. They seem uneasy as their team is on the clock. A likely and hoped-for prospect in Ashton Genty is gone, calling Las Vegas his new home, much to the dismay of some of the fans in attendance. A number of other targets commonly linked to the Bears are also off the board, making this a tense moment, full of hope but also dread and worry. The fans want them to make a good pick. Will the Bears get it right? Roger Goodell appears from the darkness and approaches the podium, showered by a rain of boos that don't seem to let up even as he stands ready to make the pick. He waits, unbending. These truly never bother him. He even encourages the dissenters to boo him more, even if it really hurts his feelings deep down. Slowly the boos trail off, and Goodell takes advantage of the moment of relative calm to read the card in his hand. Everyone watches and waits with bated breaths. With the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Michael Williams, DE, Georgia. We see the large crowd of NFL fans and draft aficionados, many in the crowd, begin to look lost and confused at why the team would ever make this pick, staring around, appearing puzzled and holding their arms out. Many cheer in jubilation, clearly. Fans of the pick, believing it was a good selection, the camera cuts to the Bears' war room, the staff members clapping and high-fiving one another. What we see that is easily noticeable and quite odd, standing out like a sore thumb, is that Bears GM Ryan Poles is suspiciously absent from the war room. Where could the Bears general manager be on this big night? Why is he not there overseeing his team's draft? In his spot sits an unfamiliar face, a man wearing a pristine white lab coat over an extremely snazzy and warm-looking sweater, the kind that those in academia tend to enjoy wearing. A name tag slapped to his coat, slightly crooked, reads, Dr. Professor Bubbles, temporary Bears GM, in messy handwriting, and with a loud, maniacal cackle, he revels in the chaos and excitement of the night, both the good and the bad. Who is Michael Williams? Michael DeAnthony Williams is a defensive end for the Georgia Bulldogs. He is 20 years old, born June 29, 2004 in Columbus, Georgia. He is majoring in sports management. He stands at 65 and weighs in around 267 lbs. Other important measurables come in as such his arm length is 34-38, his hand size comes in at 10-14, and his wingspan is 82. Here is his spider graph pictured for reference. Unfortunately, but understandably, Michael decided against taking part in drills at the Combine due to a still healing injury, so we must look at his pro day numbers instead. He ran an unofficial 40-yard dash time of 4:73 at 2:67. He began his playing time for the Bulldogs in 2022 and decided to enter the 2025 NFL Draft after 3 seasons. Across these 3 seasons, he compiled 14 sacks, 41 solo tackles, 26 assisted tackles, and 21 5 tackles for loss, as well as 3 passes batted, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. He played in 15 games in his debut season, starting in 2 of them in 2022. In 2023, he played in 13 games, making 10 starts. In his final season in 2024, he played in 11 games and made 5 starts. In 2024, he suffered a grade 2 left ankle sprain playing against Clemson in the very first game of the Bulldog season and missed the next 2 games against Kentucky and Tennessee Tech due to the injury. Michael himself has stated that he played at less than 60 throughout the season and also stated he was injured the whole year, never healthy, also calling it frustrating and nagging, and decided to skip drills at the Combine due to his recovery. Despite this injury to his ankle, he fought through it and played 10 more games, showing grit and resilience. What are his strengths and weaknesses? Michael Williams will be only 20 years old on draft night, is tall with an already impressive frame. That he can grow into a little more with NFL strength and conditioning shows very good play strength and has great athleticism for his position, traits that help him win his attempts. As a push rusher, he shows many traits that make him an appealing prospect. He attacks off the snap with good power and speed thanks to his athleticism, using his long arms and strength to stave off and control blockers. He is strong enough to use the bull rush effectively while also showcasing strong hands. Has a fluid mover, quick on his feet, and can attack the edge with enough bend to threaten the tackle. Michael is able to turn speed into power well, and his length helps this greatly, attacking with speed and then using his wingspan and heavy hands to keep blockers away from him. He shows a solid ability to burst and close when rushing. With his long arms, he is able to get in throwing lanes and make life harder on QBs when he isn't able to win his pass rush in time, as well as use those long limbs to reach for and strip sack the ball even if he didn't have a clean rush. As a run defender, Michael shines with his traits again. Has able to use his burst and strength to set a hard edge, keeping blockers where he wants them with his length and showing the ability to hold the point of attack. He hustles hard, has a great motor, plays through the entire play, and is a generally consistent tackler, showing the kind of attitude and desire coaches love in a defensive lineman. He is one of the better run defenders at edge in the 2025 class and uses his great traits to get into the backfield often as a defender, shooting gaps or reducing inside, and he can move and cover ground swiftly while there, chasing down runners in the backfield. This is evidenced by his TFLs over his career, and in fact over 31 of his tackles resulted in a TFL. To finish up, another one of Michael's big strengths is that he is extremely versatile, able to line up in a variety of alignments and positions and win in those spots, using all of his tantalizing traits and abilities. At Georgia, he moved along the defensive line and performed well, showing he can functionally be moved around, bringing great versatility and making a great player for getting creative with. Defensive coordinators usually value this trait highly, and Michael has proven he is both skilled and well-versed in it. As for weaknesses, no prospect is perfect, and Michael has his fair share of knocks. When looking at his college career, the first and obvious blemish is his lack of high-end production. He never accumulated more than 5 sacks in a season despite all his potential, and many scouts and observers are quick to point this out. His pad level is usually poor, and that allows blockers to knock him back a lot easier than they should when his pads rise. Due to the pad level rising, he can rush far too tall and rigid at times, and needs to use his bend and athletic abilities to help keep himself low and attack more effectively overall. While he has good strength, he needs to add more to really be able to use his bull rush against NFL linemen and win with it more consistently. Getting stronger will also help him win more run defense reps and be even more of a force on the defense. Another major flaw is his lack of a plan when pass rushing, and he needs to work hard on being able to formulate his approach and be ready to respond when he gets stymied or his first move doesn't work out. I cannot speak to this personally, but I have seen a lot out there that the Georgia defense limited what he can showcase and that there should be more he can show off and do given more opportunities to do so. Overall, he really needs to work on some technical aspects of his game to match his athletic ability and upside. He will not be able to use those traits to win as much as he did in college, and professional offensive lines will take advantage of any weaknesses he has in his game, so he absolutely has to clean some of it up and use better technique consistently. He never really performed like he should have with the myriad of traits he possesses, and definitely underdelivered while at Georgia compared to what many expected him to do. He was still a valuable contributor and an important part of Georgia's defense despite that. My take and why I made this pick. Alright, I did my best to keep the majority of the above factual, unbiased, and backed up by numbers. Here's where I get to explain why I made this pick, what I like about Michael Williams and how I see him in the NFL, and why I like him for the Bears moving forward. First off, his middle name is DeAnthony. He's literally got DE in his name. He's made for this. Case closed. All jokes aside, starting with an obvious reality, many of the targets I hoped would fall to 10 didn't make it. This left me to evaluate who was left on the board and who made sense in my mind. What really appealed to me about drafting for Chicago was the state their roster is in currently, as they really worked on addressing their needs and weaknesses. While they still need upgrades, there isn't a massive, glaring need I could have addressed at 10 in my eyes. Pick 10 was far too high in my mind for Omarion Hampton, although I love his talent. The Bears can pick up a solid RB in another round because they do need to find someone better than DeAndre Swift. The best remaining tackles have shorter arms but good tape, but O-line was not as big of a need as it was before Chicago worked on revamping their line, and they can always snag one in a later round to compete and be a valuable backup. The best. WRs were still on the board, but I think the Bears have a good enough group that they can grab a wide out later instead of making another high pick for one after taking Rome Odunze last year at pick 9. While not everything is perfect in the windy city, they made some significant improvements to their team, hired a new and exciting coach in Ben Johnson, and I looked at pick 10 and knew I could go a variety of different ways, depending on who fell. I considered a few options here, but ended up feeling pretty confident in drafting Michael Williams. It's a little bit of a luxury kind of pick, a risky one too, but they can give him a role and let him grow, as he's only 20 years old. We've seen Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen highly value edge players who can set a good edge and really disrupt the opposing team's running game first and foremost while still being able to get some pass rush. He also values players who are versatile and can be moved around. Allen has said that as Bears DC, we want to be an attacking, aggressive style of defense, and he wants to be able to take the fight to the offense. Michael Williams is exactly who he wants. He's going to be a good run defender day one, as he's one of the best in this class. He can rush well enough for where he's at, and he's only going to improve at both aspects. He is able to attack and hold ground, all while being able to be moved and utilized in various spots. He fits in well right from the start. As a solid player already, he can defend the run pretty darn well. He's got great traits. He played hurt and still managed to take care of business and help his team out as much as he could while hurt. As a player that just oozes a ton of potential. But you can also look at his tape and see him play well and consistently enough. It's not as if he has a ton of traits, but never put any of it together at all. He's someone you can get out on the field and know he's going to be able to help out in some way. Granted, if being a rotational player and a depth piece were all he amounted to, he'd never be worth the 10th overall pick. But I think it's wise to bet on all of his traits and potential to be so much more than that. He played last year hurt, and that really limited what he could do and display for teams and scouts. There is a lot that he will improve upon when fully healthy and with good NFL coaching. Bears have Montez Sweat locking down one edge spot and went out and got Dayo Odeyingbo to start on the other side. Behind those two, they have Austin Booker and Daniel Hardy, as well as Dominique Robinson and Jamri Chroma in their edge room. And while these players can still develop and have an impact on the team, a guy like Michael Williams had the potential to pass all of them, but he brings a high risk, high reward gamble for the Bears. If he develops and continues to hone his craft while maximizing his physical tools, he should be an absolute force at edge, contributing as a fantastic run defender and someone who can attack upfield and be a terror for offensive lines and quarterbacks. If the bet fails, Michael will likely never unlock his amazing potential to its fullest and would have to hope to carve a rollout as a decent run stopper with limited pass rush abilities at best. Defenses thrive when they have the ability to rotate their linemen and keep them fresh so they can go out and attack with reckless abandon. As a rookie, and depending on how camps and preseason go, Michael should be able to be rotated in for Odeyingbo or Sweat when needed during year one, providing good run defense and some pass rush capability. There will also be opportunities to have him out there in pass rushing situations because of the versatility he brings and the invaluable experience he would gain. In this capacity, he can work on his game, absorb everything he can, and really hone in on those weaknesses and how to correct them without the added pressure of starting right away, all while getting stronger and adjusting to being a professional. I really feel that with a little time and some patience, he can easily add weight, get a good deal stronger, and get some expert coaching for his flaws. It all comes down to the usual theme with a lot of prospects like him. How hard is he really? Willing to work for it? How badly does he truly want it? Is he willing to make the sacrifices and grind to improve day in and day out? No one can answer those questions but Michael himself, but he'd bet on him giving it his all, fighting, learning, and ascending as a player. In Chicago, he can get that. Chance providing a valuable rotational player with immense upside and even a starter if it was needed early on. If he can put it all together and really dominate and thrive, they will have a franchise cornerstone at edge, and NFC North quarterbacks and OCs will lose a lot of sleep. I hope my analysis and opinion can help show how Michael Williams is an excellent prospect and how he can fit with the Bears well and help them out. I look forward to reading everyone's write-ups and who they selected, as well as watching the actual draft and seeing any similarities to ours. As I finish this analysis, I want to say, stay safe out there, people. Take care of each other and show compassion as well as the common courtesy and respect that seems to be lacking at times. I want to say, have a great retirement. BG well always. Love and appreciate you. Your strip sack of Tom Brady made me fall to my knees and shed some tears. Finally, I want to give a big shout out to our beloved Birds, my hometown heroes, the Super Bowl likes champion Philadelphia Eagles. And as always, fly Eagles fly. P.S. Dallas sucks. Some more information on Michael Williams attended Hardaway High School in Columbus, Georgia. After his senior season, he was named the Maxwell Football National High School Defensive Player of the Year. He was a 5-star prospect, and he was the number 2 defensive lineman in the 2022 class and the number 4 player overall. Michael originally committed to USC before deciding to flip over to Georgia. Michael has said that his favorite player to watch is Myles Garrett. Can't go wrong there. He was a high school wrestler, which he credits for helping him develop a strong mentality and discipline. It also helped him with improving his pass rush in one-on-one situations. It's you versus him. You're going to give your best, and he's going to give his best. Gotta love that attitude. In high school, he trained with current Baltimore Ravens pass rush coach Chuck Smith. Pretty cool fact. And now, Da Bears fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Da Bears. I'll be back any moment with more. The Monsters of the Midway News.